Thank you all for being here. Appreciate it, getting your workout on. So as I was starting to say earlier, chair yoga is not necessarily easier than a yoga practice, but it does offer support in the way of having this chair for anybody that's new to the practice or coming back from, say, a surgery or it was just starting out. And it also allows people with various abilities to be able to practice yoga too. So it makes it really an accessible way to move through a yoga practice. We'll be here for an hour for our practice today. And we will begin just to start our practice kind of sitting into the chair. And if you'd like to take a block and put it between your back and the back of the chair, that allows for your spine to sit kind of tall in the chair, feel a little more relaxation in the body, and just bringing the legs at a nice 90-degree angle so there's comfort there in the body, and allowing the hands to rest there onto the lap. The palms can be down for receiving or up for receiving, down for grounding. And just taking a moment to settle into the body, loosening the shoulders down the back, allowing the belly to relax. And if you feel safe and comfortable, closing your eyes down and allowing for your gaze to turn inward. Just taking a few moments to soften into the body, feel the sensations of your breath moving in and out. And taking a body scan, noticing where you may need a little extra support in your body today, where you're feeling good. And if there's anything that I cue that doesn't work in your body today, take the variation that does. This is your practice, and it's your opportunity to keep your body safe. In a few moments, I'll guide us through a couple of rounds of box breathing. We'll do 4 rounds. Box breath is an inhale for a count of 4, hold at the top for 4 seconds, exhale for 4, and pause for 4. We'll do 4 rounds of that. If you'd like to bring one hand to your heart, one hand to your belly, you can. If you'd like to keep your hands where they're at, please do. And take one collective breath in through the nose or mouth, and out, letting that breath float away. And we'll begin our box breath. Inhale for a count of 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. 2, 3, 4. Release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Inhale for 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last 2 rounds, a little slower than the first. Try to breathe deeper into the body. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. Last round. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hold. Release. 4, 3, 2, 1. Pause. And allowing your breathing to return to its normal cadence, feeling centered, calm, present. And we'll get moving, letting your arms float down to the sides of your body. Oops, first let's take this block out from behind you if you've got one there. And then scooting towards the edge of your seat so you have a little bit of room here between your back and the back of the chair, letting your arms float to the sides. We'll move our arms as we breathe. Inhale, lifting up. We'll take the right hand down to the side. Exhale as you lift the left fingers up, and exhale, leaning over towards the right. There's the chair there to grip for support. And then just taking a moment to notice your body alignment. If your left shoulder is rolled forward, can you roll that left shoulder back so that it stacks on top of the right? Lengthening and reaching towards the top of the room where the wall meets the ceiling. Inhale, both arms reach back up towards the sky. Exhale, left hand down, right arm up and over. And rolling the right shoulder back, stacking it on top of the left as you reach up and out. Inhale, both hands reach back up towards the sky. We'll take a twist here. Exhale, rotating towards the right, letting the right hand connect with the back of the chair, the left hand to connect with the outer side of the right thigh. Using the connection between your hand and the chair as leverage to lengthen as you inhale and exhale, rotating to the right. Every opportunity to inhale, lengthening the spine. Every exhale, peeling the right shoulder back, opening up and broadening across the chest. Inhale, unwind, both hands reach once again towards the sky. And exhale over to the left. Left hand finds the leverage on the chair, right hand across to the left thigh. Lengthening on your inhales, your spine lifts up, exhaling, peeling the left shoulder back, opening the chest, broadening, taking it a little deeper. And inhale, unwind, bringing both hands back up towards the sky. We'll take a little cactus back bend. Cactus your arms, send your heart space, the sternum forward, and squeezing the shoulder blades like there's $100 bill stuck in there. Maybe there's $1,000 rolled up in there. Maybe lifting the gaze up, sending your sternum, your heart forward. And inhale, come back to neutral. Bring your arms out to the side. Right arm crosses underneath the left arm, bending the elbows and bringing the back of the hands together. If that doesn't work, you could always take a hug, bringing your arms to your shoulders, and then letting the shoulders melt down away from the ears and lifting the elbows. Try to get them in line with the shoulders if you can. Now here we're going to breathe into the back of the heart space. So the back of your heart in between the sternum. So pressing the elbows a little forward. If your arms are bound, pressing the elbows and the forearms forward to open up the back of the heart in between the shoulder blades. Maybe closing the eyes down a few breaths to really take that awareness into the back of the heart, opening the shoulders. And one more round of breath, full circulation. And on your exhale, releasing that bind, taking your arms back to that cactus, lifting the heart, tilting the tailbone up, lifting your gaze up towards the sky, being mindful of your neck, squeezing the $1,000 back in there, deciding how you want to spend it or save it. And inhaling, returning to neutral, bringing the left arm underneath the right, all the way up by the biceps if you can, bending the elbows, and either moving to a hug or taking a bind with your hands or the back of the palms. Shoulders drop down away from the ears, elbows move into alignment with the shoulders as much as accessible to you. And then breathing into the back side of your heart, breathing into the scapulas, pressing the elbows forward, and breathing into that back. And taking one more full circulation of breath, inhale and exhale. And on your next inhale, releasing that bind, opening your arms, taking that cactus one more time, warming up the spine. And inhale, lifting the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, taking a moment to set your intention for the rest of practice. Perhaps it is for someone who can't join us today, a loved one, or for yourself. And releasing your hands back down to your lap. We're going to work into our toes first, so just start tapping the toes. Working into the shins so that your shins remember how to lift up as you start to walk upstairs or up ramps. Just tapping, and then see if you can go a little faster. Burning into the shins. Ooh. A little harder than you think, huh? Can you go a little faster? It doesn't work. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Oh, whew. Lifting the heels up, flexing the calves, and letting the heels float down, lifting the toes, the ball mounds of the feet up. And one more time, a couple more times, lifting the calves and lowering the heels, lifting the toes, the ball mounds of the feet. Moving at your own pace, a few rounds of this. Activating into the calves, the shins, building that muscle memory, the idea that as you walk, your feet remember what to do as you're walking. Remember how to lift so you don't slip or trip if you're hiking or walking upstairs. And keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finding stillness in the body. Then rooting down through this left leg, you're going to stack the knee over the ankle so you have a nice foundation under this left side. Then inhale as you extend the right leg out in front of you, flexing the toes back towards your nose, and take a few ankle circles, flexing and pointing. You can add the opposite arm out there, reaching the left arm out, taking some wrist circles, and then reverse direction. And finding stillness there, point and flex. You might even reach your fingers long, kind of playing here with the wrist as well. Maybe the wrist goes down and up as much as it can. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Letting both limbs rest back to the ground, finding the 90 degree with the right leg. Then extending the left leg long, pointing the toes back towards the nose, starting with some ankle circles, and when you're ready, extending the right arm, wrist circles as well. And reversing direction when you're ready. And letting both limbs come back to some stillness, pointing and flexing, working the wrist. Maybe the wrist is down or up, whatever is available for your mobility. And then starting to just breathe a little deeper into your body, finding stillness, letting the legs come back down, the arm come back in. And then we'll set up our blocks to the inside of our feet. They can be on the highest setting, medium, or low setting, depending on how you're feeling today. And then separating the feet wide, so you have a nice wide stance, but still making sure that the knees are stacked right over the ankles. So keeping yourself safe here, your joints protected. We're going to take some forward folds. bringing our hands down to these blocks. And inhaling, hands to the sides, lifting up, reaching. Take a little cactus back bend, squeezing the $1,000 there, sending your sternum forward, your heart lifts, gaze up. Inhale, returning to neutral, hands float up towards the sky. Exhale into heart center. Pull in the belly as you hinge forward, straight spine all the way forward, reaching for the blocks. And then when you have those blocks, if you can lower it to a lower setting, just finding the adjustment that feels the best in your body as you move the heart space a little closer towards the ground in between the knees. Even bend the elbows a little more if you can have more flexibility there, more leverage. And inhale to straighten the arms. We're going to take a little revolve twist here. So taking one of the blocks or your hand, left hand, placing it on the block or on the ground, right underneath the nose. Inhale, lifting the right fingers up towards the sky, rotating towards the right side of the room. Now pressing down with your left hand to really kind of pull up out of your shoulders, reaching the fingertips up towards the sky, broadening across the chest, across the back, a nice letter T. Inhale as you lift the fingers a little higher. Exhale, dynamic movement. Let your right hand come down and tap the left hand. Inhale, right hand lifts up towards the sky. Exhale, tap down. Inhale, lift. And exhale, tap down. Right hand switches places with the left hand. Inhaling the left fingers up towards the sky. Dynamic movement. Exhale, left hand floats down, taps the right. Inhale, lifting the left fingers back up. And exhale, tap down. Inhale, lift. Last one, tap down. Inhale, reach up. And exhale, both hands float back down to the earth, back down to the blocks. And inhale, taking one hand to one thigh, the second hand to the other thigh, and make your way back up to a seated position, taking just a moment. Heel, toe, the feet back closer together. And setting your blocks off to the side. We're going to get ready to start moving just a little bit more. So scooting towards the edge of your seat, so your sits bones are planted on the edge. You still have room with your hamstrings. We're going to make our way into a standing position, chair pose, so a standing chair. Everybody's favorite. Feet are going to be about hip width distance apart. That's about 2 of your fists bumped in between your feet. That gives you the bone width alignment for your body. So when you're standing, your bones, your hip bones and your knee bones and ankle bones will be stacked. And inhale as you bring the arms up towards the sky. Exhale, hands reach out in front of you, palms down, draw the shoulder blades back into their sockets. And then pull up, lifting through the core. Inhale, stretch forward, straight spine. When you can't go any further and you start to feel like you're going to stand up, go ahead and stand up just a little bit out of your real chair and into an imaginary chair. It's okay if you can't get up there. It's just the intention of getting up there. And we're going to slide back down. So sink your hips back down towards the chair and sit back down. I'm going to do this 2 more times, and then we'll make our way to a seated position. Inhale, reaching forward, lifting the hip bones up, and exhale, sitting back down. All right, you've got this. One more time. Inhale as you lift up. Exhale, float back down. All right, now if you can lift up and stand up, using your arms out as a chair, please do. If you need some extra support, the chair is there to help you get up out of your chair. Inhale as you reach forward. And stand all the way up. Lift your arms up to the sky. Exhale, arms float back down. Whew. How are you feeling? Getting warm? All right. So we're going to make our way to use the chair. Back of the chair is going to be closest to you. So you might want to scoot your chair forward on your mat so that you can stand with your hands there on the back of the chair. All right, so here we are, hands on the back of the chair. So you're standing a little bit away, about a foot away from it. I'm going to work into the legs and the glutes to start with. So taking your right leg back behind you, let your toes connect there with the ground. And then rooting down through this left leg, pull in this transverse abdominis muscle. That's the belly muscle in between the belly button and the pubic bone. Then shift your body weight a little into your left leg and lift your right toes off of the ground just a little bit. Start to activate this glute. And then lower back down. Inhale, lift, and lower. Lift, lower. Remember to keep breathing. Inhale, and exhale. And keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Let your feet come back together. Take just a moment. Notice how you're feeling. Little walk it out if you need to. Now we'll take it to the other side, rooting down through your right leg. Left toes float back behind you. And shifting into that right leg, lift the left toes, activating the glute muscle. And tap back down. Inhale as you lift and lower. Lift, lower. And keep going at your own pace for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower back down. Taking just a moment. Moving into a lunge. Taking your left toes closer to the back of the chair. Right foot is going to step back maybe 2.5 to 3 of your feet back. Toes are going to be pointed in the general direction of the top right corner of your mat. And then bend into the left knee. So looking down at your left knee, making sure that the knee is stacked right over the ankle. Making those adjustments so your knee's not over the ankle like that. Making sure that it's stacked. That keeps your joints protected. And then taking your hands to your waist. If you can have one or both hands on your waist, just turning both hips towards the front of the room so your hips are square. And if you'd like, the chair is there for your support. So you can take one hand, reaching it up towards the sky. If you'd like to challenge the balance, both hands reach up towards the sky. And then sinking down just a little bit more into the knee. We'll take a little cactus your arms. One hand can be there on the chair for support. Cactus that arm, lift your heart space. Inhale, fingers reach back towards the sky. Exhale, hands to heart center, and bringing the hands to the back of the chair, step the back foot to meet the front. Whew. Low lunge on the opposite side. How you all doing? Good? All right, rooting down through the right leg. Left foot steps back 1.5, or I'm sorry, maybe 2.5 to 3, and then bending the right knee. Finding that stacking sensation here on the right knee. Squaring the hips to the front of the room. And the chair is there for support. So bringing one arm up towards the sky. And if you've got your balance, maybe the second arm. Pulling in that transverse abdominis. Shoulders drop down away from your ears. Take a little cactus back bend. Again, the chair is there for your support. You can rest your hands, your fingers on it. As you lift up the heart. Inhale, both hands reach up towards the sky. Exhale, heart center. And bring your hands to the back of the chair. Step your back foot to meet the front. Notice how you're feeling. We're going to take a down dog here. So stepping back with your feet, keeping your hands on the back of the chair, stepping far back enough so that your arms become straighter, and keeping a micro bend in the knees as much as you need to protect the hamstrings. And then send your weight into your heels, into your tailbone. So stretching the tailbone back and reaching your fingertips forward, little to no weight in the hands. Lengthening the spine, letting the back be straight. And inhale, slowly coming back out of your down dog, walking your feet forward once again. And then we'll move our way into a warrior two. So stepping with your right foot back. Right foot is going to be pointing towards the side of your mat. Left foot is going to be in the front. And then bending that left knee. Stacking the left knee over the left ankle. So if your knee is over the ankle like this, that's not going to be supportive. It causes a lot of extra tension in the knee joint. So bringing the knee stacked. And then pulling in this transverse abdominis. And when you're ready, reaching both arms in opposite directions. The chair is there for support, so if you need to have your hand on the chair, you can. Both arms reaching in opposite directions, squeezing that $1,000 right in between the shoulder blades. Pulling in the transverse abdominis. We're going to reverse our warrior. So taking the right hand and putting a bind behind your back if that feels good. Inhale as you flip the left palm up. Exhale, reverse. Inhale, moving back into a warrior two. Extended side angle. Exhale, take your hand to the back of the chair if that feels better. Reaching forward. And take the left hand up towards the sky. And then the bicep by the ear reaching towards the front of the room. Stretching along the whole right side of your body. The back pinky edge of your right foot through the hip. And then roll that the right shoulder back. So they're stacked on top of one another. Keep reaching for 3, 2, 1. Inhale, rise back to warrior two. And exhale, cartwheel your hands forward to the back of the chair. Step your back foot to meet the front. How are you feeling? Hanging in there? Good, yeah. This is very helpful to have the chair. All right, switching sides, I'm just going to move my chair. You just keep your chair where it's at. Right leg this time is going to stay in the front. Left foot is going to step back pretty far, possibly further than you think. And then bending into the right knee, finding that stacked sensation. And taking a look down at your knee. If your knee is in, you're not going to be able to see the inside of your foot. So moving that knee out so that you can see the inside of your foot there. And then when you're ready, reaching your arms in opposite directions. So rooting down through your feet. So notice if you're a little wiggly here, if you can imagine you're pressing down through the ground and then ripping that mat apart beneath you. That's going to give you the strength in your stability here. Fingers reaching in opposite directions, squeezing the $1,000, shoulders down away from the ears. Then we will reverse. So taking your left hand behind the back, right hand flips over as you inhale, exhale, reverse. Inhale, moving back to a warrior two, reaching both arms in opposite directions. And exhale, leaning forward, hand can rest to the back of the chair, extended side angle as the left arm floats up. Perhaps the bicep moves by the ear. Reaching towards the front of the room there with your right hand. Inhale, moving back to a warrior two, coming back, arms in opposite directions. And then exhale, cartwheeling hands down, stepping the back foot to meet the front. Whew. How'd you do? Not bad, huh? All right, I'm going to turn this way so that you can see me. We're going to do one of my favorite moves, which is a heel stand. Challenge the balance a little bit. I like to take a block and tuck it right in between my thighs, just above the knee. So not all the way up, that is uncomfortable. I like to tuck it right just above the knees. And then taking a look there at your toes, toes pointed directly towards the front of the room, feet hip-width distance apart. Now we're going to find our mountain pose in this posture. So the chair is there for your support. You can allow your hands to float down to the sides of your body or let the chair be there. And we're going to take just a moment to play with the feet, their feet forward. So take a moment, lifting all of the toes on your feet, separating them as wide as they'll go, and then landing all the toes back onto the ground. Keep all the little toes landed. See if you can lift just the big toes off the ground. See if any other toes lift. Try to get the little toes back down just to lift the big toe. And then pressing down through the big toe, see if you can lift all the little toes off the ground. So your feet are going to have an internal rotation. And then separating the toes once again and landing them all back down onto the ground. We'll move into our mountain samastihiti. So shifting forward, back, side to side in your feet until you feel all of the bottoms of your feet connected with the ground. So all corners of the feet. And then when you find equally balanced on both feet, pause in your movement. And then letting the hands float down to the sides of the body, palms face the front of the room. And then rooting down in through your feet, you might feel a sensation of your arches lifting. So maybe not pressing all of your toes into the ground, just a little bit into the big toe. So the arch lifts, and then engaging the kneecaps, the thighs, hugging the hips in, hugging the glutes in, pulling in this transverse abdominis. Inhale as you lift your shoulders up by your ears. Exhale as you squeeze the shoulders down the back body. Palms facing the front, fingers nice and separated, wide. Imagining that you're sending roots down through your fingertips into the ground. Your body is nice and strong on the inside. Lengthening the top of your head, the length of your torso towards the sky. Strong body in your mountain pose, samastihiti, to command attention. Keep the body squeezing. This is an active posture, so you might start to sweat. You might start to feel your body shaking from the inside. Squeeze a little more. Where can you tighten up just a little bit more? A few more breaths. Taking a slow breath in. And on your exhale, slowly melt back down, releasing through the arms, the shoulders, the belly, the hips, the fingers, the knees, thighs, without moving, just allowing the infinite stillness that you're holding to contain the energy that is flowing through your body. Allowing your awareness and of softening of the self. And if your eyes are closed, allow your eyes to open. We're going to move into a heel lift, letting your hands rest on the back of the chair, toes separated, nice and wide, letting them land back down. And we're going to use this block to engage the body so that we can lift the heels off the ground. So taking a look at your toes and making sure they're pointing straight in front of you. So if you look down and your toes are out, that's not going to give you a good foundation for this particular posture. So toes straight forward, and then begin by squeezing your legs into this block. So lifting the kneecaps, squeezing your energy into the block, engaging the transverse abdominis, squeezing the hips. Shoulders are soft, hands can rest there on the chair. And then when you're ready, imagine that you're lifting straight up. So you're not leaning forward. I see sometimes yogis lean forward in this posture and they lose their balance. So rather than leaning forward, Try to keep your head stacked on the shoulders, shoulders above the hips. So as you start to lift the heels, you lift straight up. So when you're ready, inhaling, lifting up just enough that you feel comfortable. So you're not lifting too high or too low. You're finding that nice Goldilocks edge. And you can float down and up as many times as you'd like in this posture, or you can lift the heels and challenge your balance. Perhaps just one finger on the back of the chair. Perhaps taking your hand to your heart or to the sides. And if you've got your balance and would like to try a little more, maybe just lifting that finger off of the chair. It's there for your support, but maybe just challenge yourself. A few more breaths. Floating in and out, lifting up and down, activating the shins, the calves. For 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Landing back on the earth, taking that block from in between your thighs. Taking just a moment. How'd that feel? Little challenging, little good. All right, we're going to take ourselves into a tree posture next. So taking your body so that your left hand is on the back of the chair. I'm going to move my chair this way. So left hand is on the back of the chair. So you're going to turn so that you're facing this side of the room. And rooting down into the ground, we're going to take tree pose. So find that mountain samastihiti leg on the left side, the side closest to your chair. Rooting down in through that foot, through that leg. Little to no weight in the right knee, right leg. Spin that right knee open. Let your heel connect there with your ankle. Toes connect there with the ground. And you could take one hand to your heart center, the right hand possibly. If you're comfortable in this position, maybe you take both hands to heart center. Just finding what feels right to you. This is tree. If you'd like a little bit more in your balance posture, perhaps taking the bottom of your right foot and connecting it with the calf, or just lifting the toes off of the ground. And if you've got a nice balance here and you feel comfortable and you'd like a little more, perhaps taking and growing your branches in any direction. Maybe your hand reaches up, or you lift your fingers off of the chair. If you're a little wiggly, rooting back down through that left leg, focusing on something that's not moving in front of you, keeps the 8-pound ball weight of your head stable. And just play with moving in and out, falling in and out of tree. And inhaling, bringing both hands back together. Exhale, hands to heart center. And then taking the right knee to the front side of your body before you step down. And then turning so that your right hand is at the back of the chair. I'm just moving my chair over. So right hand rests on the back of the chair, tree on the other side, rooting in through the right leg. And then spinning the left knee open, heel connects with ankle, toes with the ground. One hand to heart center. And if you'd like a little bit more, finding your challenge in your balance, either lifting the toes or bringing the bottom of the foot to the calf or the thigh. And when you're ready, growing your branches in any direction. If you'd like to challenge your balance, perhaps one finger on the back of the chair. Just giving yourself that challenge that feels supportive for you, safe for you. And inhaling, hands back to heart center. Exhaling as you bring the left foot to the front of the room, the left knee, and stepping down. Moving out of your tree posture. All right, we're going to stay where we're at with the right hand onto the the back of the chair. We're going to work a little bit more with our legs and our core, moving into a one-legged mountain. So a couple of options here with your one-legged mountain. You can take your block and put it on the highest, medium, or whatever setting is appropriate for you at the front side of your body. And we're going to root down through the right leg since it's closest to the chair. We're here on the right side. And little to no weight, begin to lift your left thigh parallel to the earth. Your toes can connect with that block in front of you if you'd like. And then finding your balance here, you can bring one hand to heart center. You can lift your left arm up towards the sky for a mountain. You can leave your hands down at your side, whatever feels right for you. If you've rooted down in through that right leg and you feel balanced on the right side with your right leg, perhaps you lift the toes off of the block. Maybe you lift those toes up. Maybe you bring the thigh parallel to the earth. The thigh. Flex the toes. And if you've got this balance challenge and you'd like to try it a little bit more, maybe just lifting a finger off of the chair, focusing on something that isn't moving. And slowly bringing your foot back down to the ground, your hands coming back down. Wiggle it out. The Shaolin like to step wide, bring their hands to their waist and do these big circles with their hips like they're hula hooping or windmilling, or just a little movement here to let that go. And then we're going to switch sides. So I will move my chair, you just turn around. And then set up your block so that your right foot can float on that block. Rooting down through the left leg, Samastihiti, left leg. So left leg strong, little to no weight in the right leg, lifting that right thigh parallel to the earth. Toes can connect there with your block. And you can find your balance challenge, lifting the arm or hands to heart center. And if you feel stable there, rooted through the left leg, perhaps you flex the toes on your right foot so your foot's floating off of the block. Taking what challenge feels right for you. Each side is different. Every day is different. No judgment, no comparison of yourself to another. Giving yourself grace, embodying the kindness and compassion for yourself. Balance challenge that feels right for you. And inhaling as you bring your hands back together, right foot floats back down to the earth. And then the same options here, or maybe some other movement, either big hip circles for releasing, or taking some windmills. All right, a little bit more movement here standing up before we make our way to sitting down. So taking the feet wide, toes out, heels in. And then activating this transverse abdominis muscle. And we're going to lift up the right hand up towards the sky. Exhale, cactus the right hand and bend into the knees. So goddess pose or horse pose. And if you've got your balance challenge here, you can take both arms into cactus. Now here you are. Let's find some refinement here. Pull in the transverse abdominis so it takes that sway out of the back so you feel a neutralization of the tailbone. So it's not a tucking under, but just pulling in that belly so that neutralizes the lower spine. And then remember to breathe as we're moving in this posture. Let's do a little bounce. Growing some thigh muscles. Little bouncing. Keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And then straighten your arms, straighten your legs, reaching like the shape of a star. Slow breath in, slow breath out. And one more deep breath in, and on your exhale, bend your knees, cactus your arms once again. Find this goddess pose or horse pose, depending on the lineage. One hand can be on the back of the chair for support. And then if you'd like, glide a little bit left and right. Moving slowly, remembering to breathe. Pulling that transverse abdominis so it takes the sway out of the lower back. Protect your lumbar spine. Keep moving for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finding stillness, straightening the arms, straightening the legs, finding your star pose. Slow breath in and out. And on your next inhale, bringing your hands together, exhaling, hands down to heart center. And then taking one hand to the back of the chair, heel, toe, the feet back together. Wiggle it out. Any movement you might need. All right, we're going to make our way back into our seat. So bringing your chair and pulling it back towards the back of your mat, keeping the legs on the mat. And then making your way back around to your chair, go ahead and sit down. Feels good to sit, yes? All right, a few more movements before we make our way into our closing postures. We're going to work into the legs a little bit more. And if you have a strap nearby, just keep it nearby. We're going to use it for a little closing out of class here. But let's take your blocks and set them to the wide edges of your chair. So out here, maybe just on the outside of the chair legs. And we're going to step our legs up and over these blocks. So you can take these on the high setting, which means you're going to lift the leg higher to get it over, or a medium setting or a low setting. And if you don't want the block there, you can also remove it. So it's up to you, whatever setting you'd like. And then scooting towards the edge of your seat so you have the mobility with your hamstrings to move. And holding onto the seat for dear life. Left leg's going to be at a nice 90-degree angle. Right leg is the same. And inhale as you lift the left, I guess it's going to be your right thigh up and taking it out and over. Inhale, lift, flexing the foot as you bring it up and over. And let it land down. And notice if, as you're moving, you're leaning back and using your body to lift the leg. Try to keep the obliques long, the torso nice and tall. Transverse abdominis pulled up and in as you lift up and over. Remember to breathe. And you can make any adjustments that feel good in your body. If you'd like to lower that block, you can. If you'd like to move it, you can. It's up to you. Keep going on this right side for 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Finish with your foot back in front. Let that side go. Maybe a little karate chop on the right leg, on the right thigh. Gotta let that go. All right, let's take it to the left side. Rooting down, right leg stays there. Left thigh lifts up, foot flexes, and exhales out. Inhale, lift. Exhale, down. And lifting up and over. Chair is there for support. Try to keep the obliques nice and tall as you just focus in on your breath. And making any adjustments to the blocks that you'd like. You can lower them or raise it, whatever feels right. And keep going for 5, 4, 3, 2, And one. Finish with your leg on the inside. Whew, a couple karate chops to the hips, to the thigh. How'd that feel? Whew. All right, let's reach for the straps here. Take our strap. Let our strap be of support. And taking the strap about the middle of the strap and wrapping it around the bottom of your right foot, extending that right foot out in front of you, toes flexed. Use that strap to just kind of anchor into the leverage here, nice and tall into the spine. And then see if you can straighten the spine and exhale, hinge forward, leaning and leading with your heart space towards the toes. So stretch along the back of the knee. Keep the knee bent just enough so you're not locking it out. Little bend, micro bend in the knee as you reach forward. And sitting straight back up, letting the heel on the right side come back down to the mat. Nice long leg. You might even place a block underneath that heel. That feels good there. We're going to take this a little deeper stretch. So heel on the block is very helpful. And inhaling to lengthen, exhale, leading with your heart, forward fold. Leaning towards that right leg. Gentle hamstring stretch, so we're not pulling to pop anything, we're just pulling to lengthen and stretch in, finding that edge in your pose. It's not too hard, it's not too easy. And inhale, slowly releasing back up out of this side. And switching out your strap, moving the block over so you have it ready for the right side or left side. And then taking the strap around the bottom, extending the left leg, long micro bend in the knee. Inhale to lengthen the spine, exhale, lead with your heart. Using that grip to gently guide your heart forward, stretching along the bottom of your back of your hamstring. And releasing that stretch, letting the left foot connect with the block. And then inhale, lengthening once again, exhale, hinging forward. Deep stretch into the left leg. And inhale, releasing up out of that posture, taking your strap, setting it off to the side. And then setting your block off to the side, scooting towards the edge of your mat. Legs are long, heels are connected there with the mat. So scooting forward, so just your glutes are hanging there, hanging onto the back of the chair. Legs are straight. Mine are dangling off of the cliff here. And then reaching your arms up overhead. Straight spine, flexing the feet on both legs, and then leaning forward. Straight spine. So you're leading with your heart. It's not a forward fold. We're in a seated down dog. So your fingers are reaching where the wall meets the ceiling. So lifting your heart, lifting your gaze as you're flexing the feet and pressing your hands away. Seated down dog. Lengthening the spine. Little inhale. And exhale, sitting back up, returning, letting your arms float down, bringing your legs back in. From here, we'll take a wind removing pose. So reaching down for the right leg and drawing that right thigh in towards the body. A couple of ankle circles if that feels good. Now in wind removing pose, if your thigh is not connected with your torso, that's okay. See if you can just take the leg to a little bit to the outside. So it's not a twisting of the knee, just moving the whole leg a little to the outside of your rib cage and then hugging it in. That allows for the compression along the right side of the body, the ascending colon, improving your internal digestion, the function of your internal organs. And then releasing your wind removing pose. We're going to take this right leg and cross it over the left. Like you're sitting in a chair, because you are. We're going to take a little twist here. Inhale as you lift up, fingers towards the sky, and exhale, rotate towards the right, letting your right hand connect with the chair, left hand connect with the outside of the right thigh. Getting that leverage in the body, wherever you can reach for the chair, wherever your hand might be able to grab a hold of the thigh. So you're rotating with your right shoulder back, opening the heart. Inhaling, unwinding, lifting the fingers towards the sky, and switching it out. Hugging in the left leg this time, finding that descending colon, wind removing pose, ankle circle might feel good. And then taking this left leg and crossing it over the right side. And we'll make our way for a twist on this way. Inhale as you lift the fingers. Exhale, rotate towards your left. Inhaling, unwinding the same way you came in. Exhale, hands down to heart center. And then unhooking your left leg and take just a few moments to bounce it out, dance it out. Get all this energy in the legs going. And holding on to your chair for dear life. See if you can go a little faster. And a little faster still. Like you're running a marathon, sort of, kind of. A little faster. Come on, what do you got? What do you got? Just a few more seconds. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Relaxing into your body, making our way, sliding back into your seat. If it feels good to have your feet up on blocks, we'll make our way into Shavasana. And allowing for your body to relax down, your eyes to float closed, your hands to rest on the legs, palms up or down. And shoulders releasing down away from the ears, finding the softness through the body. And if you feel safe and comfortable closing your eyes, allowing your breath to tune back in. And taking a slow breath in through your nose. And out through your mouth, softening down. Shavasana. Returning to the awareness of your breath. Returning to sensation in your body. Wiggle your fingers, your toes. Maybe deepening into your breath a little more, turning ankles and wrists. Maybe a good day stretch, reaching your arms up, lengthening your body. Deep breath in and exhaling, hands float back down to heart center. And I'll close with a little quote from the book The Way Forward by Young Pueblo. Love is about giving, but self-love is about doing what you must to enhance your inner light. It is about knowing your own limits. Treating yourself well is critical if you want to build harmony with another human being. And if you're called and it's in your practice, bringing your thumbs to your forehead, your third eye will bow towards the divine light within each of us. Namaste. Thank you, yogis.